Welcome everyone here at DAPPS Center. I am Nero, your host here, and I am with a very special guest here with Riaz Mehta, and he is the founder of All Rights, which is the company that is also the founder of Rightstream. How are you doing, Riaz? How are you? Am I correct on that?
Hey Nero, great to be here today. Thank you so much for having me. Just a slight clarification. So it's more like a sister company of All Rights,
Okay.
and essentially we're creating this amazing ecosystem whereby creators can come to Rightstream to bring their concepts to life through the community, and we'll dive into more details later on that. And All Rights is basically a monetization platform. So content gets created on Rightstream and then monetized on All Rights, and we can take more of a dive, if you like, into the different journeys.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I got a list of questions here. I got a ton of questions I have for you. I've actually been personally following Rightstream for quite some time now, so super excited to have you on the channel. And yeah, let's dive into it. So let's go into the background a little bit. Want to get more familiar with the background and about yourself. So please tell us about yourself. Also, share us some any great achievements you have or any lessons you have possibly learned along the way.
All of the above, I'll say. So my background from Sydney, Australia, and I think I mentioned I do have family in Toronto as well, where you're located. So very much an international citizen. These days, I'm based in Singapore. I started my career in technology, and but I've always had a creative streak in me as well. So early part of my career was pretty much a hardcore techie developing software, and then I kind of moved into the business side of technology. Was with an Australian tech company, saw them through an IPO. That was an amazing journey. We were the darling of the stock market, and uh, I I went from that to um, coming to Singapore early 2000s because the company was growing its presence across Asia, and I came to establish the business here. Did that successfully. Then we got acquired by Telstra. It's an Australian telecommunications company. And then I decided, okay, done that journey. Now I wanted to follow my creative passions, and I uh, made a giant leap into the world of television and entertainment. And in doing that, I got to meet some amazing people, folks like Mark Burnett. He's the creator of Survivor and The Apprentice and some pretty big formats, and
Yeah.
started working with them. Licensed some formats into Asia, shows like The Biggest Loser, The Contender that I did with Sylvester Stallone. Um, so it was an incredible journey making that transition from tech into media. And over the years, I went on to create a number of reality TV formats. Some of them have become international hits. They have been on Netflix, Hulu, a lot of major platforms, broadcast to over 100 million people in across the globe, literally. And with that journey, I kind of learned a lot. Like you said, there's a lot of learnings when you undertake something like this, and in any kind of business environment. And happy to dive into that in a minute as well. But I these learnings actually helped me come to the point where I created All Rights initially as a distribution platform for film and TV content, and then Rightstream as a funding platform for content creation.
That's amazing. Wow, credible background. So give us a little more depth background of All Rights. Tell us about some successes, maybe some possible challenges of, what it like running a prosperous company.
Yeah. Look, there's always challenges, right? So you come up with this amazing idea, And I created All Rights back in 2017, and I launched this business. And as we say in Australia, bright-eyed, bushy tails, and thinking this is going to be amazing. And we launched this marketplace for film and TV content, and I had a team working for me. And I don't often talk about this stuff, and I'll share a little bit here about the challenges. I had a CEO and other folks that were in that business because I also had my production company. And these guys loved the business idea so much that they left and set up in competition to me, like literally within a year of me setting it up. And that was the challenge in the early days, right? That you kind of think that you've given your heart and soul to this baby and you've supported people, and then you kind of get backstabbed, right? So, um, but it's the nature of business. Shit happens. And really, it's about how do you actually recover from that and keep going and build something successful. And the lesson that I've learned is you never worry about the competition. You watch the competition, see what they're doing. That's all great. There's learnings in that. Um, but you got to focus on your own journey 100% and make sure that you knock it out of the park with your vision, with the product that you build. And so fast forward that journey for All Rights, we pivoted our business. We created what we call content as a service, which is a very innovative concept in the broadcast industry because it really retrofits the business model to how consumption habits have changed, and it fixes that engine in distributing content, increases the monetization of content exponentially, and makes it really easy to acquire content. And uh, you sign one contract with us, and boom, you're done. So, and just to kind of finish off that story, I don't think that particular competition still exists. So,
Oh,
yeah, it's all good.
yeah, right. So yeah, I mean, I think you mentioned about being kind of like a leader, not being a follower of your competitors, and I kind of was thinking, well, if you're not a follower, then you must be a leader, right? And you want to be a leader in the industry, and I
Yeah.
think that's a very good uh, stance to stand on. Because yeah, if you're not leading the industry, then you're just going to be a follower. So yeah, I totally.
No, and yeah, in an era, I did another AMA, I think a day or so ago, and we were talking about that uh, this is really about forging new territory, like, breaking new ground.
Yep.
And that's what leaders do. It's, we don't really worry about what anybody else is doing because our eye is on the prize at all times. And, you got to be like a horse in a race, right? You don't look to the side. It is like focus there.
That's very good analogy. I like that. That's good. So yeah, look, so I want to talk about the foundations of RightStream. Let's get into the RightStream now. We've been talking a bit about the background, but I want to dive deep into, they got the token, you got the RightStream platform. So as of today, I was actually been following you guys on Twitter, and I saw a post about the staking, which really caught my eyes because I'm into staking, I'm into DeFi, I like passive income, so forth. So as of today, there's been over 40 million coins. That's roughly like 30% of the circulating supply, from my knowledge, from what I researched, which is
Yeah.
currently staked, that's actually a lot in my opinion. So can you give us an in-depth explain how the staking is utilized in your ecosystem and the benefits it offers to investors?
Yeah, totally. So staking is a key utility for us for the token. And essentially, when you stake your tokens, it gives you access to other parts of the ecosystem. So, for example, we've got an RWA sale coming up whereby you can actually uh, have fractional ownership of Kryptonites, the actual TV series that we're producing. And through that fractional ownership, you will get airdropped project tokens that are featured in the show as well. So this is like gold, right? That you're gonna have a piece of everything that's in the show, and all the benefits that ensue through that ownership of that show as well. Now, you can only get that if you have staked our tokens because you get an allocation. Now, ultimately, we'll open it up for public sale, but the key is that our stakers have the first dips at the best possible price you can get for these RWA. So that's one example. And it'll be the same, like when we're also producing a film that is going to be on Lifetime on the platform. Again, you want a piece of that film. You got to be staking this first in order to get entry into that. Then if you're a staker, you have the ability to influence the outcomes within the show and also to help select the projects that appear on the show. And to that end, we are launching what we call the Rite app. And essentially, the Rite app will be your mechanism to vote for your favorite projects. Who do I want to see on the show? And I've been following this particular project for a while, and I think this is gonna totally moon it. And if that's the case, then I want to see that on the show that now it can go beyond the moon. So uh, it's that ability that staking gives you. And that's why when we announced it, people kind of clamored in and said, I want a piece of this. And that's why we've got such high proportion staked.
Wow, that is amazing. So yeah, you become pretty much a part owner of the platform, and you get voting rights too. And do you have? Is there a certain amount that you have to stake in order to be eligible? Is there any like limit?
Let's put it this way, that the more you stake, the more benefits you get. So even if you stake a little amount, then you definitely get benefits. The bigger the staking, the more the benefit.
Okay, yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
Awesome. And so I've been following you in the right stream, and I've saw something about the pillars, and I think you might have actually mentioned some of them. But what are the five pillars of your
sure.
system? Tell us about that.
So a quick snapshot, right? So the first pillar that we actually launched early in the game is our streaming platform. So here you can come and watch content and basically learn more about crypto, be entertained, etc., etc. The second pillar is our Rite app that I've just mentioned as well, which is essentially your way to vote for projects that are in Kryptonites, the TV series, for example, or even outcomes for a film or a TV show, etc. So essentially, this is a gamified app that allows you to interact with different things within the Rite Stream ecosystem. So super key. It's very fun as well, the way we have done it. And you'll see that on the market fairly shortly. The third thing is, of course, our Kryptonite's Launchpad. Now, this is very key. When the Kryptonite's TV show launches, um, the you'll be able to watch episodes of the series, of course, but then you can actually invest alongside the Knights. That's where the Launchpad comes in. So this is super cool that I've just seen the show on television. I've seen this amazing product, and now I can actually participate alongside the Knights and have amazing benefits as a result. Because Nero, usually these early rounds of investment are reserved for VCs and the whales and so forth, and the community doesn't get access. And now we want to level the playing field, and we're giving them access. So that's incredibly key. Then the next pillar, of course, what we have announced is uh, the Kryptonites, sorry, the Right Fund. Now, the Right Fund, the way that works is it essentially allows you uh, to actually invest alongside the Knights at the same terms as the Knights. So this is super cool, right? And the amazing thing about that is that not only do you have early entry, but also you have got the wisdom of the Knights behind you, and you've got our whole team that's going to be examining hundreds of projects and kind of helping invest into the best of the projects. But this is kind of reserved for folks that have the capacity for the larger check sizes, essentially, because we want to make sure that these are more accredited investors that we're taking on board in relation to the Rite fund. And so the ticket sizes are going to be bigger. The allocations that you get are going to be bigger as well. But this is a game changer, right? For the projects that are featured on the show, for the entire ecosystem. And of course, the main pillar is the RWA Launchpad itself. So whereby you can invest in film and TV projects into the Kryptonite show and so forth. So that's the five.
Five pillars. That's great. I love that. Really good breakdown of all the utility and use case of the project. That's amazing. So I know you recently just announced the fifth pillar. If you could dive more into that, the Rite Fund, how do think this will really expand? Like, how would this drive demand for the product and explain the functionality of it?
Sure. So the Rite Fund essentially, say if you're someone that staked 500,000 tokens, right, in our ecosystem, now you have an allocation within the Rite Fund, that you can say, hey, I want to be part of this Rite Fund. Uh, and essentially, then based on the amount that you have staked, it'll determine how much you can actually invest in the Rite Fund. And then and we'll be publishing all this information shortly. But say if you invest $100,000 into the Rite Fund, and this is, we are looking at people that will be investing bigger tickets, essentially. Now, with that 100K that's gone in, we, alongside the Knights, will be allocating this across a variety of projects. And so now you've done your hard work is already done. You've said, hey, I believe in you guys. You've creating this amazing TV show. You've got all these projects that are coming in. And now you can just lean back and let your money multiply, literally, because uh, I guess we got the inside scoop, right, on a lot of these projects that are going to be in the show, and also the confidence of the Knights that because they're saying we have vetted these, and these ones are going to take off. So now, as an investor, you have come in early stage, invested alongside the Knights, and uh, part of the fund is going to be allocated towards the winner of the series. So we haven't talked about that concept a lot before, but I'm sharing that with you now, that there is going to be a winner. Someone's going to take away a lot of money at the end.
Wow.
And uh, so you can imagine they've gone through that rigor, and they've got the Knights' weight behind them. They've got a marketing machine behind them. And now we're going to say, okay, we're going to double down on this one as well. And so through the Rite Fund, you get access to all of those things.
Wow. That's incredible. Amazing. Might have to get in on that.
Absolutely.
So now let's dive into the comparative landscape. We want to talk about the industry a little bit. So the video streaming industry is valued at like $544 billion. Tell us a bit how you are going to plan to disrupt this traditional media landscape, and where do you feel you stand in the ever competitive and ever advancing nature of streaming platforms?
Okay. So entertainment industry is a $3 trillion industry, and that's what we're disrupting. It's big. And if you look at what we're building here with all rights, that's where we're really helping the monetization of content. With RightStream, we're disrupting the creation of content. And I believe this baby is going to blow up huge because can you imagine there's so many creators out there, millions upon millions of people, right, that have been trying to get their creative projects brought to life. And they've struggled because trying to pitch to a studio, that's, forget about it. It's like it's going to take you years to actually get through the door and actually get your project seen. Trying to get funding via, individual investors that people don't really get it. It's tough. It's tough. So with RightStream now, anyone can come to the platform. Anyone can be a creator, and anyone can have that chance to succeed. So we are disrupting a $1 trillion industry right there. And that's the opportunity. And you can imagine Initially, there'll be some, million to $2 million movies made on our platform, but then it'll grow to $10 million movies, to $100 million movies, the blockbusters. And that's where, fast forward the journey 5 years, that you'll be able to see blockbusters on RightStream, and you'll be able to produce a blockbuster on RightStream and have control of that. And the community will participate in that. So that's where it's at.
That's awesome. So how do you feel you compare to some of your competitors in the Web3? I know there's already some platforms out there like Theta. I know there was also, we talked about the show Killer Whales from Hello Labs. I know they had some issues or whatever, but how do you feel you're different and how you're superior? I mean, how do you plan on being a leader in this industry?
So I will say we are already a leader in the industry. We're not following anybody else.
Right.
And the Kryptonite show was announced actually as part of our initial thesis when we launched the Rite token. So it was way before Killer Whales or anything else kind of was announced per se. So and the difference is like if I look at shows like Killer Whales and you know uh, I admire anyone that does a production because it is tough. It's a tough business and hats off to Paul for pulling it off. And, it's uh, great production values and done well on that. But again, my experience is in this particular genre. I've done reality TV for a very long time. I kind of know what it takes to engage audiences. And I feel that where Killer Whales kind of missed out on some key elements, there are no stakes. In a reality TV format, there's got to be some high stakes. Why are the projects there? What are they going to get out of it by being on the show? And there are no stakes for the community. So what does the community get? It's like, I watch a show and then what? How do I personally benefit from that? And it's always been part of our thesis that we have to make sure that our community benefits. It's like there's no point of doing a production, producing a TV show that everybody's helped support to get there, and then you just sit there and watch it. It's like, sure, I can do that on Netflix, I can do that on anything else. But we wanted to make sure that our community has a direct benefit, that they are participants in this journey, that they're engaged in this journey from day naught, and that when this baby blows up and is huge, then they benefit from it. They don't just sit back and say, "Yeah, the producers made a lot of money. What happened for us?" So that's how we are different. Things like Theta, that they're a great platform, and I've followed their journey for quite some time as well. What they're doing is kind of different to what we do, so they're not really a competitor to us. Um, they're handling some of the important issues with regards to the entertainment infrastructure and so forth, whereas we're tackling a different problem. So we kind of see them more as possibly even a future partner rather than a competitor.
That's awesome. That's great. Great to be the leader of the industry. That's where you want to be. So yeah,
Thank you.
let's talk about crypto nights. I want to talk more about that show. So I know recently I saw where you could vote on which projects will be presented on the show crypto nights. Can you tell us more about that? How's that work?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So very soon we're going to start announcing who these projects are and people that want to be on the show, right? So and we'll be announcing a Rite app. So now you can have that app, and each of these projects will be on the app. So uh, you'll be able to vote for these projects and say, "Hey, this is my favorite project. I really wanted to make it on the show." And we have these things called glimmers that you basically is, as I mentioned, it's all gamified. So you kind of use glimmers to actually vote for your favorite projects. And you can earn more glimmers by doing different things. You can earn glimmers by staking as well. So our staking thing comes back into play there. And your favorite projects will end up making it on the show. And then you'll be able to invest in these projects further down the track. So that's it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I can't wait. So I see you just recently presented the next Crypto Nights to your community. Can you tell us a bit more about it? Brian Evans? Why did you
Yeah.
choose him, and why did you bring him on the table?
Brian is an amazing human being and he is an amazing knight. I'll say that. He's Forbes 40 under 40. He's a prolific investor within this space. And he's one of the smartest investors I've come across. The way he analyzes projects, the way he um, looks at that journey, and the great thing I like about Brian is that he is there to support the project long term. And he's not just there, here's my 50 grand and then goodbye and I'll see you on the other side. It's like he actually helps them market their projects. He actually helps support them, mentor them along that journey, which, I haven't seen that with a lot of VCs and investors. I've been in this space a long time. So that's why we love Brian. And plus, Brian has an amazing community. He's got like 1.2 million followers on Twitter.
Yeah.
So, the support that the projects get out of that is just phenomenal.
Yeah, I actually was just on Twitter. You guys were on a Spaces. I remember. I think you were on there, and I think Brian was on there.
Yeah, yeah,
And yeah, he was very insightful, very knowledgeable of the industry. I was sitting there taking notes. It was
yeah. Oh, I'm glad you joined Twitter Space. That was a really fun session. I really enjoyed that, and some very insightful questions were asked as well.
yeah, absolutely. So can you give us a hint on the next night? Who's going to be the next one? Who's going to be next?
I'll give you two hints. How about
All right.
that? We've got a couple of amazing nights lined up. One of them actually was the CEO of a really big exchange.
Whoa.
And I won't say which one because I let my marketing team kind of roll that out as a plan. And a very deep knowledge in the industry, an OG of crypto, and the wealth of information he's going to bring to the table for the projects is just phenomenal, right? The other night, this guy was a Navy SEAL and a Harvard graduate, went to school with Zuckerberg.
Oh, really?
So yeah, exactly, at Harvard. So that's the caliber we're bringing to the table. But you'll be seeing these announcements fairly shortly.
That's awesome. That's super exciting. Do you also plan on bringing on any celebrity guests on the show? Like it would be wonderful to see like a Shark Tank person come on as a guest. Um, what do you think? Is there going to be any A-listers?
Nero, uh, that's certainly our goal. We are talking to some A-listers as we speak, and hopefully we'll be able to announce someone in the not too distant future. But folks that are on Shark Tank, sometimes they have conflicts of interest that we
Yeah.
we got to make sure that that's taken care of. But yeah, absolutely, it's on the cards.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking when I asked that question, it said wonderful if a shark, and I was a sinner. What if Mr. Wonderful came on, like Kevin O'Leary? I know he's big in crypto, so
Wouldn't that be wonderful? Yeah, no, I think Kevin is actually top of mind for me as well. And but
awesome.
Kevin, if you're listening out there, then yeah,
Yeah, let's get Kevin on. Yeah, that he
yeah,
can get some projects. All right, so I got a few more questions here. We're going to start wrapping up the AMA. So I want to
yeah.
ask a few more questions here. What would be your least bullish and most bullish market cap predictions for this project?
When I started Right Stream, I was thinking, we want to hit $1, basically. That's what my original goal was. And I've never had a single doubt in my mind that we would do that. And as always, this is not investment advice. Do not, I'm the founder. I'm passionate about it, and I'll see this thing all the way to the end, whatever that means. So, uh, but my personal goals, I'm just sharing my personal goals uh, that was what I started with. But now as the project is evolving, I feel this could be a hell lot bigger than that. That was kind of not an ambitious goal if I look back in hindsight.
So
I
you're
hope that helps.
so you're saying the writing is on the wall?
The writing, R-I-T-E.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed.
Rite, right?
Yeah.
So give a all right. I got one question or one last question here for you before we wrap up. Give us three bullish reasons to be excited about this project going forward, and what will drive investor demand over the next couple of months through this bull run.
Okay. Number one is utility. I think any token that doesn't have utility is dead. So we have very strong utility. Number two, the team within RightStream. That, we've got uh, multiple businesses behind us. We've got decades of experience, proven track record. But that's the other thing. Number three is our product. It's like, look at those five pillars, man. It's like, this is mind-blowing stuff. I haven't seen any other crypto project out there that has such a solid foundation. And as these things roll out, then the utility increases, the engagement increases, and it's just, it's that flywheel that, keeps getting bigger and bigger. And that's why when I said that when I started RightStream, I had a certain ambition for where I wanted the token to be. And now that ambition is a hell lot bigger because of what we are building.
That's amazing. Super excited. So, well, thank you so much, Riaz, for being on our channel. And is there anything else you'd like to say to our community before we get off here?
Absolutely. Uh, Firstly, thank you guys. Thank you for taking the time. I know time is precious, so really appreciate it. Thank you, Nero, for having me on today. Um, the thing that I will say to the community is get involved. Don't just sit back because as human beings, we have this tendency, oh, I'll watch and see where it goes, and then we miss the boat. Don't miss the boat on this one because there's some super exciting things happening. If you got tokens, take them, become part of the journey. If you don't have them, then I highly encourage you go get some and come on the journey because uh, at the very least, it'll be very fun. And I hope that it'll be extremely rewarding in lots of ways.
Well, there you have it, folks. So links will be
Beautiful.
in the description, guys. You guys could join down below, get into their community, start doing. And of course, guys, be safe out there. Do your own research, do your due diligence. Of course, there's no financial advice here whatsoever on this channel. So, but yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Riaz, so much for being on this channel. Super great to have you on here, and super excited to see what the future brings at RightStream.
Thank you, Nero. Thanks a lot, everyone. Have
Thank
a
you.
great day.
Adios. Thank you guys so much. See you guys in the next video. Peace. Adios.